Nigerian Ministry of Transportation has directed the resumption of the Abuja Kaduna train services from the 23rd of May 2022. The train services were suspended in March following a terrorist attack in which 68 people were kidnapped. In a statement signed by the spokesman for the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Mahmoud Yakubu, the corporation said that efforts are still on to rescue the abducted passengers of the attacked Abuja Kaduna train. According to NRC, additional security measures are being put in place to beef up security at the train stations and along the track. But the families of those abducted have threatened to resist the reopening of the train service. Now, joining us on Newsday is the Managing Director, the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Fidet Okhira. He will be speaking on new measures put in place to ensure passenger safety and efforts at rescuing abducted passengers in March terrorist attack. I want to say thank you very much for joining us here on Newsday. And I want to say, how massive a blow was that terrorist attack to the Nigerian Railway Corporation in general and train services in Nigeria?
Good afternoon, Nigerian. You can quantify, it's not the blow to Nigeria, but to the entire nation. It was a big setback for Nigerians and Nigeria and the rail community and the system. And I'm still at pain, and it's very difficult to explain what happened. And the idea of life is to continue the struggle and ensure you don't give up and put things together to have a better, not just a better Nigerian, but a better Nigerian Railway Corporation, but a better country. That's what I can say there. We have worked for the past 1 month, both in restoring the track and ensuring the best we can do to ensure those that we are held hostage or into captivity are released. It's not just the railway alone, but it's a national issue that the respective people that are connected in rescuing the people are putting it as a front burner. That's what I can say as at this point.
Now, the train services are resuming at a time when a large part of the country, particularly the northern part of the country, are still very unsafe. You know, like you said, the victims that were kidnapped, they're still in captivity. Even a new baby was born in captivity. So wouldn't you say this decision, isn't it a bit hasty? Isn't it insensitive? Are we not looking at another tragedy waiting to happen?
It's left for Nigerians to decide. I'm the Managing Director of Nigerian Railway Corporation. If now that we say we are resuming on Monday, and I know before now that we have been under pressure to start the train from Nigerians, low and mighty, because they still want to benefit from having a workable train. And we also have people who said, don't run. So we weigh the pro and con. We can't fold up the country, that's what I would say. And if it's to the betterment of Nigeria not to operate the train, I can't force myself. We are in a democracy.
All right, but for those, would this be fair to those that paid the ultimate price? That's those whose lives were claimed by those terrorists. What will be done? Because some of these families are defiant and are insisting that services will not resume until something is done about their relatives that are still in captivity.
I've just answered that. It's a painful thing. I don't want to be drastic with my comment. If you identify those people who said, and you find out even they are not related to those people in captivity, I think as a journalist, you should investigate those people that are saying, if you investigate properly, you find out that they are not, because we are talking to the relations of those being held. So those you see that are coming out to carry a flag and play card and all those things may not have any relations. They have their respective motives for saying that. As I said earlier, we are under tremendous pressure by Nigerians, both high, low, and middle, to start. But if by the end of the week the pressure is much on the side of don't start, we will obey. But we know we are putting things in place to ensure that we have better safety on the train. And don't forget, even after that train incident, a lot of things has also happened as regards security. It's not whether you operate train, people will be safer or not.
So you said things are being put in place, to keep Nigerians safe when you do resume services. Can you tell us some of those things that are being put in place, to make the railways safer, to also keep passengers on the trains safe?
Yeah. We are improving on the technology, although the one we are expecting to put in place cannot be immediately be provided, but we are doing stopgap to have things in place. And the men of the Army, the Air Force, and the police, they are, apart from the Railway Command, will be supporting the IG throughout the process, brought in some troop of mobile policemen. The Army were there, and the Air Force were there. And we're also doing something internally that's to improve security. And we have limited ourselves to running the last train should stop by 6, while the first train will start by 9:30, so that to enable people to meet up the train daytime. Those are the things we are putting in place while awaiting the real-time monitoring that will be installed, not just in Lagos, Abuja, Itakpe, Warri, and Ibadan, Lagos.
Now, what about the issue of cameras, drones, bomb detectors, that the former Minister of Transportation talked about earlier? How soon will those be put in place? And if it cannot be put in place right now, why the haste, to resume services?
We are not in a haste. And I said we are doing something before that one comes up. Will you be happy if we stop operating? The issue of not operating is that the track will be left to vandalization, and it's a serious problem. Operating is also prior to provide security for the infrastructure the government has spent time and to put in place. It's not even to our best interest to even operate now, because the cost of diesel has gone skyrocketed. It's not just money, but you have to provide service for people. And I don't know, Kaduna Abuja road has been under attack. The people are still using the roads. I don't know why you should think that people should, we should not operate the rail. He said that because it's being operated by government, and the people operating the road service are individuals. Maybe that's why you are thinking of the difference in the principle of operating the train.
All right, the ill-fated incident was a huge learning curve. What would you say the Nigerian Railway Corporation has actually learned from that incident that will help them serve Nigerians better in the future?
It's a huge, and it's the first time we are experiencing it. It has happened in other parts of the world, Europe, Paris, US. So, but this is our first time of experiencing it. We learned a lot, and we have learned to collaborate more with the DSS and the security agents. And at the same time, they have upped their game. It's not just enough to say, we suspect this, we suspect this. We should be tactical in our approach and ensure that right things are put in place. You mentioned about the equipment the minister talked about. The process is still on, and that's why I said we are trying to have a stopgap before that system is deployed, the real-time monitoring system. It's just not, if you put the equipment in place and people don't still respond as they should respond, and they see something happening and they don't respond, it can still happen. So it's going to be real-time monitoring, so that even as MD on my phone, I can see what's happening on our track, and if there is infringement, there will be alarm. But it has to depend on how the security attachment to the rail respond to stopping it. And the benefit of that when we suspect anything, the train will stop and we will not go ahead through that area. So there are things that are being put in place that I am not able to disclose, because you don't just expose what you are doing, or else let's give them time to also think of what to do to sabotage the efforts.
All right, Mr. Okhiria,
is being put in place.
You've mentioned that running the rails are cost extensive at this point in time. When you kick off, or when you restart it again, and there's low patronage, what would you do at that point?
So that's why we see, instead of the 10 return trips we are having, we are starting with 4 return trips. So we have also starting all over again to build up the confidence of Nigerians. So the timetable has been changed to take care of the president's reality and the president's security position. So the railway management, the Ministry of Transportation Management, is not insisting that we are starting on Monday, but we hope to start on Monday. But if the majority of Nigerians say it is their best interest to allow the system not to run, who is the MD or who is the ministry that we say we should disobey Nigerians?
Now, after the attack, let me quickly interrupt you. After the attack on passengers, there was some controversy over how many passengers were actually on board the train, and there were calls for the NRC to release the official manifest, which, correct me if I'm wrong, was never publicly done. Can you tell us what efforts have been made to ensure that there is adequate and correct record keeping so that such incidents do not happen again?
We released the manifest. It was in public space. It was on social media. We released the manifest, but some people who decided to believe the fake news that was flying around, believe that, and ignore the official release that we gave. We gave manifests, we gave phone numbers, and we gave their sex, and even gave, and we made calls, and we are getting press releases of the number of people that we have contacted that are safe, that we are not injured, and we gave those that we are injured, that we are in the hospital, that we have, after some days we are released, and those that we could not contact with their phone number. And we also discovered that some people give numbers that don't exist. That is more reason we are now insisting that with the NIMC, we are cooperating with them to ensure that true identities and proper profiling is done for all our passengers. It's going to cost inconvenience and money, but I think that is the right thing to do to really capture the profile. But first of all, I don't believe that thing happened in the day. It would have been a thorough plan, and don't be surprised, some of them were passengers on the train before. I don't know how they opened the door, but we are still checking how the doors were open, because even when they tried, according to the passenger, to shoot at the door to force them open, they couldn't. I think where they came in through, somebody opened the door from inside. So we are trying to work on that, except the authorized person that will be allowed to open the door, even on emergency.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you, Mr. Fidet Okhira, the Managing Director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Thank you for your time here on News.